Hey guys, TheKiest here. People have been asking me how do I do multi-game events, and I do something that I call control bottlenecking, which I used to also call reverse bottlenecking. To give you the idea, we got two brackets right here. Both of them have 8 players in it. We got one for Tekken 7, we got one for Street Fighter 5. Notice that some people are in here multiple times, such as the real Tenno, using them as examples for those in Columbus and stuff, but anywho, normally when you run a tournament, and let's say we have only 2 setups, normally what you do to do the best way to do a bracket is you run, 2 of them first, and when those are done, then you run a different 2 from the same round. And then that way you're thinking that you'll get the most optimal setups and everyone gets the amount of fair play and stuff. But the problem is if you do that across multiple games that have multiple people entering in both events, you eventually get to a point where those guys have to play each other further on the bracket and you have a bottleneck. So something I came up with, which is kind of indirectly done at majors today with pools when it comes to multiple different games. This kind of negates to the fact that you have to actually make pools. So you can kind of still do it in smaller brackets like this, or if you just don't want to deal with pools and just deal with a bracket when you have much larger events or just several different other ones and don't really have the time to do a ton of pre-reg or crate set pools off the bat and stuff. So the idea is you create a bottleneck on purpose because you're going to bottleneck anyway. So instead of making people wait at the end of the event when you can only get one game in at a time because you're at the finals or whatever, or you're at the top 4, you only use one setup. Idea is that you have people wait earlier, but you still use as many setups as possible. How you do this is you kind of pick a few what I call targets. So we've got the real Tenno in one bracket, and we got the real Tenno in another one. So naturally, let's say I'm a target too because I'm in both. But it's kind of easier to target me because I'll probably get eliminated, or at least that's why I'm seeded. So whoever the lower seed is, who's in both, try to get them out of the way first. It kind of makes things come into play, especially if they're mid-level guys. So what you do is you do your bracket as normal. And again, you try to stagger the events so these aren't running at the same time. So point is, let's say it's a half-hour split. So this happens, and let's say this is our result. Then normally, instead of running these 2 next, you would actually run these 2 next. Again, the idea is, yes, these guys are waiting, but the thing is that 2 of these guys are on Street Fighter, maybe even 3 of them if you're lucky, 2 of them are in Street Fighter. So when they get to the point where they have to wait on the rest of the tournament, that's when you start going into other matches. So let's just go ahead and say one more Ganon because we're kind of being greedy with this just so you can see how this works. And then Street Fighter 5 starts. At this point, you would do, him because we just, he's waiting on a match. And you would do myself because I'm also waiting on a match. Although you could have easily done, oh, okay, never mind. I thought I had Lappin in here as well. And so now you have these 2 going. And where Street Fighter's a little quicker. And then at this point, it's like, do you pick to either, this infamous Kev's in both. So now we're going to kind of run him through while waiting Tenno. So Kev will keep on this end of stuff. So again, still using 2 setups, still kind of bottlenecking stuff. It's a little more apparent when you see it in the other ones. Sometimes you might get a risk like right here. Like infamous Kev can't be in both. And so maybe at that time you're kind of a little stuck, but it's a little easier when you have a lot more variance with, like, say, 16 people and maybe even more setups, so you rarely get into this situation that just kind of pop up. But and then you kind of, again, try to prioritize which game matters, as in usually the game you have starting earlier usually means that game's going to take longer, so you kind of prioritize around that game happening. So now this is already winners finals, and you're at the point on this end where you got 2 matches that can happen at the same time. Since those guys have to play each other in finals, which this happens a lot when you reverse bottleneck, you'll end up getting these guys playing each other. So then let's say this finishes up. Then I'm already playing, so you can't do that one, so you do this other one. Then, let's say I finally get eliminated or something, I don't know. Then you know, this thing happens, and now we've got me over here. And since real Tenno's got to play in finals in the other one, you probably just honestly have them do that. You know, maybe for a stream it kind of stinks, but that kind of stream efficiency, I always feel you should just kind of figure out as you're used to this method. And then kind of so on. So that's kind of my example of what you're trying to do. Hopefully this helps out. If not, I'm going to do a part 2 where I answer any questions people have. So post in the comments or give me a message. And thanks for watching. Peace.